Hi Year 6, this is your English lesson for Wednesday the 3rd of March. Looking at our World Book Day book of the Unforgotten Coat, and hopefully you've now researched the country of Mongolia. I asked you to finish reading chapter 2 yesterday, but I'm going to carry on reading from where I got to, which is during chapter 2, and it's page 31, just after the picture of the doughboy. I'm going to carry on reading from there, just in case you didn't get a chance to read it, and I'll tell you what we're going to have a think about. Then one day, I went to Savadra's shop for a packet of Monster Munch and a bottle of Sunny Delight, and there they were, the two of them, standing in the doorway looking at me. Chinggis said, "Are they good?" pointing at the Monster Munch. I offered him some and started walking slowly towards my house. Chinggis crunched the munch. "Yes, it is good. You can give some to Nergu." We walked along, with them dipping into my Monster Munch every couple of metres. I subtly changed course whenever they changed theirs. I chugged some Sunny Delight so that I could be convincing when I asked for the toilet. But somehow we ended up outside my house, not theirs. "I need the toilet," said Chinggis. "And so does Nergu. You have toilets?" "Sure, come in." As soon as they came through the door, my mum asked if they wanted to stay to tea. "Sure," said Chinggis. He and Nergu went up to the toilet. Mum asked me if I thought they'd like fish fingers, or is that against their religion? I'm not sure what religion they are. They eat normal school dinners. We heard the toilet flush, but the boys did not come down. We could hear them walking around upstairs, opening doors and even drawers. That's a bit much, you know. Doors are one thing, but I draw the line at drawers. She couldn't, in fact, draw the line though, because Chinggis walked into the kitchen and said, "Please, we need to bake something right away. You have flour?" Something in his voice managed to infect Mum with baking panic. Personally, I've never heard of an emergency baking before, but Mum was yanking a mixing bowl out of the cupboard like it was a fire extinguisher. Bags of flour, slabs of butter, she threw them onto the table like medical supplies. Yeast? Yeast? We don't have yeast. It seemed that we might all be doomed by lack of yeast, and that only Chinggis could save us. "It's okay," he said. "This time I'll do it without yeast. Stand back, please, and warm the oven." Mum more or less ran to the oven, and Chinggis started throwing stuff into the mixing bowl and bashing the dough about. Nergu stood there watching as though it was heart surgery, and it was about to be his heart in the mixing bowl. It was only when I said, "What is it exactly that you're doing?" that things started to calm down. "Yes," said Mum. "What is it exactly that you're doing?" "You have some raisins?" asked Chinggis. "Sure." She passed him a bag of raisins. He squeezed the dough into the shape of a little boy, and he added raisins for teeth and eyes. "You know, if we're going to eat this, you should have washed your hands." "This is not for eating." "Well, not for us to eat anyway. We need something else to eat. What do you have?" Mum said she was thinking of eating fish fingers, if it wasn't against the religion. "There is a religion in this country that forbids eating fish fingers," said Chinggis. "No, I don't think so. I'll put them on. Do you want to phone your mother and tell her that you're staying to tea?" "No, we are nomads. She doesn't expect us to come home like children who are not nomads. Maybe we'll be staying here for the night." "Oh, will you? Maybe," said Mum. "Maybe you won't either." Chinggis glanced at Nergu. Then he looked around the room as if checking that no one was listening. Mum had this mirror near the back door, next to the "See How I Grow" chart. Chinggis went over, took the mirror off the wall and turned it face down on the table. Then he closed the blind. "We are telling you something in secret," he said. He looked at Nergu again, and Nergu nodded. "My brother believes he is being chased by a certain demon." "A demon?" said Mum. "In Bootle? You sure there's only one?" "We have to take steps to save him. For instance, Nergu is not his name. We never speak his name. Nergu means no one. So if the demon hears us speaking to Nergu, we are speaking to no one." "Right," said Mum. "Well, obviously, don't know why I didn't think of it myself. Also, we take a different route home from school each night so that it can't easily find out where we live." "But does it know where you go to school?" "He saw it in school twice." "So he has actually seen this demon then?" "Of course. Or how would he know it was following him? We are not people who are afraid for no reason." "Of course not. So what does it look like?" "It's in disguise. It looks like an ordinary man." "So how do you know it's a demon?" "Because it wants to make him vanish. It's a demon that makes things vanish." "Right," said Mum. "That's why we had to leave Mongolia. This demon was there. It wanted to make us vanish, so we had to leave." We walked along the railway track that led out of our country. We followed the railway for days and days until we came here. There's a direct rail link from here to Mongolia, really? No, not direct, no. We made many changes. We do it to confuse the demon, and now I have made this boy out of dough. If we leave him on your doorstep, then maybe if the demon has followed us, it can think it is Nergu, and maybe that will vanish instead. Great plan, said Mum. Now, if you're going to eat these fish fingers, will you go and wash your hands? So they stayed to supper. Before they ate, they put the doughboy on the doorstep. While we were eating, we watched the door. We couldn't help it. The lights as the cars went by, the voices of the passing people, it all seemed like demon-related activities to me. A few weeks before, I had not known that there was any such thing as a portable bamboo palace. I hadn't even known that there was such a person as Genghis Khan, who was born with a clot of blood grasped in his fist, who had conquered nearly the entire world in hardly any time at all, sweeping over the steppe into Central Asia and right to the very gates of Europe. I hadn't even known there was such a place as steppe. The steppe was as flat as a pavement, but wide as the sea, with nothing but grass. Wide as a sea, and I hadn't even known it was there. If there were seas of grass and woven palaces in this world, then why wouldn't there be demons too? Why wouldn't one of them be crouching on our doorstep in William Morris Road, right at that minute, munching a boy made of dough? Chinggis cleared the plates without being asked. Nergu stayed staring at the door, looking tense. I think that little fellow wants his mother, said Mum. I'll see if it's safe, said Chinggis. He opened the door and looked down at the step. The doughboy had disappeared. Honestly, said Mum, you could leave a bucket of nuclear waste on your doorstep round here and it would be gone in 5 minutes. They really will nick anything. We can go home, said Chinggis. The demon has eaten the doughboy. It won't need to eat again today. Okay, so that's the end of chapter 2. Hi, Year 6. This is your Wednesday, the 3rd of March activity. So I've just read chapter 2 to you, the rest of chapter 2. What I'd like you to do is write a diary entry from Julie's point of view. So you haven't been told her name yet, but she is the main character. I'll just flick and show you the picture at the beginning. So this is the picture with Julie in. Okay, so we're going to write from her point of view. She's the main character that has been appointed by Chinggis, the good guy. So Chinggis and Nergu, the Mongolian brothers. That's Chinggis on the front, or possibly Nergu, actually, I'm not sure. So, thinking about a diary entry, we've done this lots of times. These are particularly good examples. Tom Gates, you know, you've got this brilliant sort of informal style with lots of lovely little pictures and speech bubbles and arrows and emojis and funny little drawings. I'd love you to write a diary in this sort of style. Brainwave. And again with Diary of a Wimpy Kid, it's got that sort of informal style, hasn't it? It's obviously you need the date, when something happened. So if you need ideas for how to write a diary entry, tonight at dinner, Dad told us that his younger brother, Uncle Gary, got engaged to his girlfriend Sonia. I mean, it's a great informal style, so it's perfect. So if you're thinking about what style to write in, that's the sort of style that I'd like you to aim for. Okay, just to remind you about the features of a diary. Obviously you're writing it in first person, I, me. And that'll be from Julie's point of view, very informal, okay? Because when you're writing a diary, you're probably only ever writing it for you to read. Obviously, you describe your feelings and your thoughts, from your point of view. Usually has emotive language and it's written in past tense because it's about things that have happened already. So, I'm hoping this isn't too tricky. I'm not going to model too much of it for you, but just to start you off, if we write a diary entry from the day that Chinggis and Nergu go back to Julie's house, it might start with something like, today was the best day ever. Chinggis and Nergu actually came into my house for tea. And then you might write something like, can you believe it? Maybe you have a funny smiley face there, possibly. It's up to you. Maybe then you say what happened. I was in the corner shop and she was buying her crisps and her drink, wasn't she? She could draw little pictures if you want to. Buying snacks can put little things like this there if you want to, it's up to you. Buying snacks, and there they were. I think they were following me. Then we'll put a dash. I am their good guide after all. Okay, so it's just a little start off for you there. You can do a better job, I'm sure, than me. So write from Judy's point of view, the main character, about when she ends up with Chinggis and Nurga in the house. And of course they end up going upstairs and going through the drawers, and then they make a doughboy to try and distract the demon. There's all sorts going on. And if you write it from her point of view, I'm sure you can make it quite humorous as well. So have a bit of fun with it. This is going to be your activity for Wednesday and Thursday. So you've got 2 days to do it. Okay, read chapter 2 again if you need to. Good luck, year 6.